All right, and we are live both on Facebook and YouTube. Welcome, welcome. Actually, today we're looking at the same place because doing on the computer for both places. So big welcome, guys. I'm Patricia Missakian. I'm the founder of the Akashic Records Institute, and here with you both in Facebook and YouTube. Every Monday and Wednesday and Thursday, we have exciting things happening here in the Akashic Records Institute. So Monday, we open the sacred crystal codes holding the energy for the week, and that's what we do every Monday. On Wednesday, we expand the concepts that came through on Monday. So this Monday, we got the sacred crystal codes of compassion, and today we're going to create a live that is going to expand in the theme of compassion. So the topic that I have for this live that you're going to see here is what does forgiveness has to do with compassion? And we're going to talk a little bit about that. I hope that today is going to expand your horizons, open your awareness, shift paradigms, and continue supporting you in your growth, in your expansion. And for those of you that want to take compassion deeper, tomorrow we are having an Akashic Clearing. The link to join the Akashic Clearing, it's up here. You can just join for tomorrow in the healing session, and we are going to access the records for the group and help you to clear triggers connected to memories where there is a deeper level of forgiveness and compassion to be embraced so that you're no longer carrying that weight on yourself. So it's going to be powerful, and I'm looking forward to see you tomorrow for that. Now, let's talk about the forgiveness and the difference in what's happened between forgiveness and compassion. So I work deeply with forgiveness, and I also guide my students in the Akashic Records certification in different ways that you can support your clients through forgiveness. And the way that I see it is that when you are holding someone responsible for something that you experienced, and you are in a moment, in a place in your life that you're not ready to forgive, right? So the first thing to understand is that you don't have to be ready to forgive just because other people tell you that you should. So I want you to have the openness in this life to hold whatever you want to hold in your heart, right? And I've seen it in my life and in my clients' lives that when you're ready to forgive, everything shifts for you. However, I wouldn't force someone to forgive when they're not ready to forgive. But we're just going to expand in this topic. So what I want to tell you today is no matter where you are, I want to invite you to be open and receive this conversation that we are having here, and then decide what you're ready and what you're not ready. Okay, so I really come from the place that forgiveness is for yourself, is not for, and hello everybody, so good to see you guys here. Forgiveness is for yourself, is not for others. But what happened is when you're holding a grudge or a resentment or an emotion because you can't forgive someone yet, you are doing that to yourself, and you're holding yourself the ability to feel free in regard to the other person. And there was such a great point that I did this live in Portuguese, and there is a great point that one person shared. But if you are forgiving someone, would that mean that they are wrong and that's why you're forgiving them? And I don't think so. I don't think it's from that angle that you're going to forgive someone. Basically, when you forgive someone, you're no longer holding them responsible for your interpretation of whatever they did that came into your life. This has nothing to do with who is right or who is wrong. The only thing that I want you to focus on here is the forgiveness will bring you freedom. So it doesn't mean you're right, it doesn't mean the other person is right. It has nothing to do with that. It's just a declaration that you're done holding that energy in your life. And again, it's easier said than if, depending on what happened to you. But even so, I really wanted you to look at When you forgive, you're being compassionate towards yourself and you're being compassionate toward the other person, right? So that's the topic of life. What does forgiveness has to do with compassion? So when you look beyond what you're seeing, someone did something to you, but if you just get yourself out of the situation and look beyond that, what could be happening in this person's life that she brought that to your life that you need to forgive, or. So most of the time, those who hurt us the most are those that are hurt first, not because of you. It could be that they had a horrible day and they discounted on you. It doesn't make it right, but it also gives you the opportunity to look through it from a different perspective. And the other point that I wanted to bring in this live is that sometimes people may love you that much that may be the person who would be the villain in your life so that you could grow, so that you could expand. I have a story of a couple. I work with the woman, and one of the things that I also wanted to put it here before I share this is that in my work I learned to not judge ever my clients, any spectrum of actions or whatever. And what I see is that from my experience and from working with the Akashic Records, time and time we are on both sides. Time and time we can get things right, we can get things wrong. We can do things that we are proud of, we can do things that we're not proud of. So if you're looking for an Akashic Records practitioner, look for those that do not judge, because if you judge, you're already putting all your energy and all your filters into a session where you're mixing things up, right? So it's very important to, as I'm sharing this, I'm not sharing my perspective, my view of what this person did, what that person did. I'm only going to share the facts. Fact is, there was this couple married for a long time. Husband had an affair. Wife, when he had an affair, her life was, what I would say, like, she wasn't happy in her life. She was just going through the motions. She just got so used to things that she pretty much didn't care anymore. And the husband had an affair. And again, I'm not saying whose fault is, that's the fact, right? And when that happened, that's when I met this client. When that happened, we worked together, and later she ended up doing our Akashic Records certification. And at that time, it was very hard for her. It was really hard to be even thinking about forgiving him. It was something that we worked for a while until we get there. And then she went on to do the Akashic Records certification. She went on, did amazing. She's still doing amazing work. And she found herself and she found her mission. And she looked back and she's like, I can't believe I stayed so long in the marriage. So it's like, again, it has nothing to do with being married or not being married. I'm just talking about this particular experience, right? So if you look at her, when just happened to her, the separation, it was very hard and she was very hurt. And she'll tell me, Patricia, how come he loved me and he did that, right? He did that because he doesn't love me anymore. And that's what I want, and that's why I'm sharing this story with you today. His agreement with her before this life was to marry, was to experience what they both experienced, and it was to leave her. And when that happened for her, she completely turned her life around. She's happy and she's giving, her gifts to the world. So he had to be the villain in her life in order for her growth. So that's what I said before. Sometimes people have to love you that much to accept to be the villain in your life. And sometimes they will be the villain in your life so that your children can go on and do something very big with their lives because of what you experience and what you pass on to your children. So that's the biggest concept that I wanted to bring you, to invite you to just be with that and notice what's going to start to shift for you. Other very important point, if you are in a place where forgiveness is not there yet, watch a movie called The Shaft. And now it's not The Shaft, it's not an action movie. There is another movie called The Shaft. There is two movies called The Shaft. This is a movie where a guy goes to a little cabin and meet God. It's called The Cabin. If anyone wants to know the movie, you probably can find it on YouTube and whatnot. But it's an amazing movie, and I'm not going to talk about the movie, but it brings the concept of we're all the same, right? And why would God punish someone and not punish other? And this guy has this most beautiful conversation with God. So it's the most beautiful movie about forgiveness. Highly recommend if you feel called to watch this movie. And also I wanted to talk about Ho'oponopono. Ho'oponopono, the best story of how Ho'oponopono can impact a life. It's a story of a doctor that was invited to go into a hospice and help the clinically insane. And they actually were criminals, and they were also insane. And this hospital was trying a lot of things that they could not get better. So they invited this doctor that used the Ho'oponopono. And basically the doctor just read the chart of each client, and he said the Ho'oponopono words for each one, and they start improving. So you can see the power of Ho'oponopono. So basically the Ho'oponopono is 4 simple words that you start saying, and that starts shifting the vibration when forgiveness is necessary. So I like to, inside the Akashic Records certification program, we actually go deeper into, how you can access your timeline and how you can work with Ho'oponopono throughout the timeline for yourself and your client. But everybody that is here, regardless if you know Akashic Records or not, you can work with Ho'oponopono starting today. And you don't, and it's light enough that you don't have to even think you're ready to forgive. So you just start saying the words and allowing those words to make a shift in your life. So for example, you think about a person and notice how does it feel in your heart. So if you're feeling angry, if you're feeling sad or whatever, so just feel about the person and notice how you feel in your heart. And then you start saying the Ho'oponopono words, which is, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you. I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you. And you're going to repeat until you notice the energy calming down. And then you do for yourself, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you. So most people, when I say this the first time, they'll be like, what I'm going to tell them, I'm sorry, if they were the ones that are wrong. So here you're not really saying the Ho'oponopono for the person. When you say I'm sorry, you're more saying I'm sorry to the divine, to the universe, to God, for whatever consciously or unconsciously actions you took that invited that energy into your life. So you are not saying to the person, you're saying for the universe, for God. Please forgive me. Again, you're saying to the universe, forgive me for whatever it is that I don't even know what it is that attracted the situation. Thank you. You're saying thank you because it's through that you're growing. It's through that you're expanding. It's through that other things are going to show up in your life. So you're thanking for that experience. I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, and I love you. You connect to the deeper love that exists and connects you with every single being in the world with compassion. compassion towards yourself, compassion towards others, seeing beyond that sin that the person brought it to you, because you don't know what happened in their life before. So practice that, enjoy that. I am going to let you go today. I am actually on a way to go get my book. I got to print off my book that I got to take to Brazil. So we got in a little crunch time here. But I wanted to be here with you to meet our commitment on a Wisdom Wednesday. Hope you enjoy our conversation today. Make sure to join us tomorrow for the Akashic Clearing. The link to join, it should be up here, or look in the email that we sent. And I'm looking forward to see you tomorrow in the healing session at 10 a.m. And if not, I'll see you when I see you. Love you, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.